My name's Chris. This is my 2004 Terminator Cobra, which happens to be for sale right now. I picked the car up outside of Tomball, Texas. I'm actually an import guy. I had a 2004 STI while I was looking for this car. The first fast car I was ever in, fast car, was back in 2007. It happened to be a 2.3 Whipple Cobra on Torco. Made 600 back in 07. Monster, which is like nothing now, but you know, times change. So I picked the car up in 2018 right outside of Houston. I was looking for a car because this was one of my dream cars. I actually ended up selling the STI after I got this car because I couldn't have two project cars. Wife was, you know. The car was a full bolt-on car, still had the Eaton, had a fuel system, and it was a great car. The guy let me drive it, he let me beat on it, he let me inspect it. The car was perfect. I was purposely looking for not a perfect garage queen, one that had some miles on it. I picked it up with 51,000 miles and drove it back to Dallas. It didn't skip a beat. Got pulled over halfway to Dallas. No front plate, and they clocked me doing 15 over. Luckily, they let me off with a warning. Got it back, enjoyed the car on the Eaton setup for all of 2018 and 2019. And then the world decided to try and end with COVID, and the car started showing signs of a head gasket leak. So I decided this was a good time to start building the motor. With the help of Jonathan Valentinetti, with another Cobra owner who's big in the group, we dropped the motor inside our garage, my garage, over COVID. And I had Daniel Hardy build the actual motor, and then Jonathan and I reinstalled it. Quick little rundown on the car without getting into the full details. It is a textured block, bored 10 over, has custom Wiseco pistons with custom electroless nickel plating barrier, custom side skirts, the higher performance rings, Mulliner power adder I-beam rods. It's still on a stock Cobra crank that I had bored out. So it's studded and double keyed. It was done by Wonder Racing. The heads are modular head shop stage 4 heads with modular head shop stage 4 cams. All the fixings, full send, you know, everything that Jordan over there does. He does a great job. All the internals are AccuFab. We have 9mm dowels, the billet tensioners, the secondary chains, the primary chains, the billet rear main seal, and then we topped it off with a 4 return fuel system and a VMP Gen3R blower, which happened to be ported by Joker's Performance. The car ended up making, because I haven't turned it up yet, the car ended up making 767 horsepower over at Paramount speed on just its laziest setting, only 14 degrees of timing. It made what it made on 93 octane, straight 93 octane. Shocked everyone. Everyone thinks it's a 1100 horsepower car all day turned up. The transmission setup is an RXT 1200 clutch. We upgraded to the 26 spline input shaft. The transmission's still the original T56. It's fully built. It was done by Chris Jennings, who is the guy that built all of HPP's Racing's original transmissions when they were really big with Cobras. Has all the fully built fixings, the bronze pads, shifter forks. Magnum probably would serve it better. I'm afraid it would still break the transmission on kill, but it's holding up fine right now, just a little bit notchy. It has G-Force Outlaw half shafts, gorgeous units. You don't really get to see them though since they're tucked away. The car is sitting on H&R sport lowering springs. It's on BMR tubular suspension, so the front K member. It is sitting on bare 6-pot brakes, which I love. They look great, and the car feels way better stopping. So the exhaust setup is American Racing long tube headers, 1/7/8. I shipped out the headers to Swain Tech to have the White Lightning ceramic coating done. It's probably the highest melting point ceramic coating in the industry from all the research I did. It's connected back to custom 3-inch all the way back X-pipe Bassani, but then we did custom bullet resonators. And then it's Bassani 3-inch tailpipes to a 4-inch tip. Another little cool thing that the car has that I really like, and people think I'm crazy for doing it, is all the wheel bearings they're custom made and they have ceramic ball bearings in them. The car's weight, you can actually tell by just pushing the car, it just rolls much easier. Back to the engine bay, has a anti-gravity lithium battery. The battery's like 7 pounds and has 970 cold crank amps. The thing's crazy. It's turned over cars that are dead, like other Terminators, like they were nothing. Like no lights flickering and sitting there it just turns them right over. The cooling is done with a VMP GT500 heat exchanger. It's on a MAF Racing support bar. It has a Fluidyne radiator. It's still on the factory intercooler core, but it has on-3 crossover delete. The supercharger is a VMP Gen3R. I actually had one of the early Gen 1 Gen 3s, or I guess Gen 1 265s. This ported unit came up for sale in the market, so I was like, okay, I want to full send this thing. So I sold that one off to a local member and picked up this supercharger. Extremely efficient supercharger. Even with all the porting and the long tubes, everything, it still made 19 pounds on a 3.3 upper, that's why we have the timing so low in it, just too much on 93 octane. The VMP supercharger is also connected to we call it a Whipple Crusher intake, but it is a custom 5-inch intake with a GT500 slot MAF. All the tuning was done by 04 Sleeper. He's a godsend for the Cobra community. As for the interior, it just has an upgraded Pioneer nice flat double din. Speed of sound gauge cluster pod, as a AM wideband with an actual we soldered in a connection point to the wideband so it can actually be tuned from a laptop. Looks great and very functional. Next best thing to actually switching to a standalone and tuning it that way. Besides the AM wideband gauge, it has an Innovative West oil temp and pressure gauge, and it has a Aeroforce gauge that I actually watch the IET2s on and watch boost, because we actually wired in the solenoid to have an accurate boost measurement. As for the shoes, it's sitting on weld wheels. They are 17 by 8.5 in the front with bead seat knurling, and in the rear they're 17 by 11. Both these were custom made offsets. They have clearance for big brakes and high pad, and I'm not even sure if Weld even does custom wheels like this anymore. They have all the preset offsets that you can buy. Well, thank you for listening to me ramble on about my car. If you want to follow me on social media, my IG is _5KYN3T_ or _Skynet_. And yeah, hope to see community keep growing and see you guys around.